Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Listen, it's that time, people. It's that time. We did not forget. We told y'all no matter what, we're recapping the Braxtons. Don't get on us because it's not a set schedule. Just know that. Listen, okay? Come on now. Just know that we're going to recap the situation because the Braxtons are giving us a show.
Oh, my God. First of all, hi, Auntie. Second of all, if this ain't reality TV, I don't know what is. I just like, I have literally been glued in every week since episode 1. And you know, normally Auntie, and hello everybody. We are so glad y'all here. Welcome. Hit the like button. Thank you for coming through. Let your people know. Share, share, share. We are in the building. The people need a schedule. Listen, okay? Life been lifing out here for me, okay, y'all? I've had a lot going on, and it's my fault. So don't blame Auntie Diva, blame me. Y'all know I'm the inconsistent
listen,
one, but we here.
It's all right, but listen, you know what, Felicia, you right. The people do need a schedule. We're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
Y'all got to give us time.
But listen, when I tell you I have been tuned in literally since day one of the original Braxtons, number one, and then this version of the Braxtons as well. You know, Auntie and everyone, normally once we get to about episode 5, episode 6, we kind of lagging through the season. There has yet to be a lag during this season of the Braxton Family Values. This is reality TV. And this is what happens when you don't make up stuff or, trying to produce segments. Let natural stuff happen. Life alone will give you entertainment if you let it.
Ooh, you said a word right there. And that's a fact. So on that note, let y'all know we're recapping episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 was Happy Birthday, Tracy. It's her second, year anniversary, so to speak, since her passing, her second birthday since her passing. And then episode 2, I think it was, what was it called again?
The village. It takes a village. It takes a village.
It takes a village. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and get it right into this Happy Birthday, Tracy. I like and I don't like that now the reality stars, they kind of do their own recaps. So it's like if you watch it and you listen, it's like you have information. It's almost information overload because it's stuff blending from all different sides. We're going to recap what we saw on the show. Y'all feel free to let us know any additional information if you watch any one of their own personal recap. Like overall, no matter what, everything is just good stuff, right? So Trina said, it opens up with Trina and Tawanda and their significant others, still they have went to go see, the nephew Kevin Jr. and they're in the house and they're kind of talking and everything is still focused on this funeral that they claim Tracy did not want to have. Let's be clear. It's 2 years ago. I'm going to need them to talk to Spirit, and Spirit is the counselor, and I'm going to need them to let this thing go.
Move on.
Because they're so piping hot mad at Kevin Sr. because they're saying that he did not honor Tracy's wishes, and he had like a celebration of life party for her. And they said, the reason why they did not go, they said, we didn't go to that thing that he set up because Tracy didn't want it. How about this, though? Do you really think Tracy would want y'all 2 years later fighting over this thing, hating on her husband because he did something that he cannot take back? It can't happen. So when do you kind of let this thing go? They dragged the producer in this segment and they let the producer know. Tawanda was like, absolutely not. I do not want that man who blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, girl, are you serious right now? And then they try to, everything, they try to soften the blow with us by saying, what do they say? By saying, what do they say? Oh, we love you, Tracy. They try to soften the blow by doing that, right?
We doing this for Tracy. We know that this is what she wanted, so we just trying to do what we can to make sure Tracy's vision and dream lives on for the Braxtons and the sisters.
That part. So
y'all need to stop.
They need to stop. So also, Trina in her confessional was like, "Oh, I'm shocked because Tawanda don't usually act like this. Tawanda, is usually the calm one, so forth and so on." And I'm like, girl. So what did you think about that scene, Royaire?
I feel like it was over the top and we doing too much. I feel like we were trying to make something out of nothing. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. If you didn't want Kevin on the show, that's all you had to say. But I want to reference back to what you said the other week. You made a statement that Tawanda is making a bad reality TV move decision. This is something that you would want to get on film. This is an active relationship in breakdown, currently in breakdown, and this is something that we need to see a part of the reality TV of the family. Like it or not, Kevin Sr. was a part of the family, being married to Tracy. And that last season, he was on with Tracy, working on their marriage, trying to get things better. So it's not like that Kevin Sr. has never been a part of the family or the show. He has been a part of the family and he's been a part of the show. And we need to rectify this issue. My thing is, like we said, it starts at the head. The adults are the example. So if y'all as adults can't mend a relationship, how can Kevin Jr. and his father mend a relationship where they don't even have an example to look forward to? You know what I'm saying? It goes back to Miss E and Papa Braxton. They can't get it together. It starts at the head and comes on down.
You better tell the people. How that thing starts and trickles down. And it's an example for Kevin Jr. And yes. Kevin Jr. no longer has his mother. Why would you discourage a relationship with his only living parent? And on top of that, he's having a breakdown of his marriage. Why would you do that?
And I want to say that, what's Tawanda's guy's name? I can't remember his name. Sean, I felt like he wanted to speak up and kind of say something, but it wasn't even given that. Like, it just wasn't there. I don't know. I was just like, nobody in this room is thinking with a clear head and a clear mind. First of all, about the family. Secondly, about the reality show. Hello, we trying to get aired for a season 2. Like, what are we doing?
Right. I'm giving Sean the side eye, and I got 2 side eyes on Vaughn. Vaughn is a whole piece of work, but we'll get to that when we get to that. He a whole piece of work. I don't even know. Trina did. Thank God you took him off the street so nobody else would bump into him.
Now she took the for sale side down. She took the sale side down.
She took the sale side down, and praise God for that. Child, I don't want my sister, my cousin, my best friend. How about this? I don't even want my enemy bumping into him. So, Trina, good job on that. You took him off the streets. Girl, bye. He a whole piece of work, but we're going to get to that. Let's get to Tamar in the studio, okay? She's feeling, Tamar's in her emotions, right? She's feeling something because, it's coming up on the second year of Tracy passing. She said towards the end, they mended their relationship, but she admits that, she has a lot of sadness, a lot of regret because, they did go through it as sisters when, Tracy was alive. But what I liked what happened in that studio was her and Vince are still very good friends.
Yes. Beautiful relationship.
Beautiful relationship. It warmed my heart. And the reason why it warmed my heart is because they have a kid together.
Yes.
And it is always good for the child when maybe mommy and daddy are no longer together. But you know what? They still get along. She said to this day, she don't trust nobody with her music but Vince. She said Vince got that it factor.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? Can Vince do we got to reach out to Vince Royaire. He got to give us the discount, but he could do the intro and the outro for our channels because she said Vince got the it factor.
He got the ear. That's what she said now. That's what she said.
That's what
now,
said.
and we got to give Vince his credit now, okay? Because he did begin Lady Gaga's career. He was at the start and Lady Gaga is a mega star. Yes. He worked with Justin Bieber as well.
Resume. Come on.
He worked with the greatest, okay? He was Tony's manager when we first got on TV. So he was really introducing Tony to the world back at that point in time because she had been gone being sick for so long. So, Vince has put that work in. I know he's worked with a lot of other artists, and he's been successful throughout the years. I know he's not where he used to be, but even the music that Tamar has created now, she still has a fan base, and she's been able to hit on those mainstream radio, stations that only play mainstream.
1 second, I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, so, I think that, it's beautiful to see that Tamar and Vince have been able to move past their issues because that was a really big thing at the ending of the original Braxton's family values. Tamar and Vince were kind of going through their separation. Tamar had been really, really sick. Vince had been really, really sick. And personally, I feel like they had been kind of wanting to go their separate ways, but they were so vested in each other, in my opinion, that they didn't know how to let go. As well, in my opinion, Vince was Tamar's ticket to fame, I really think. So it was kind of hard to let that relationship go. And then Logan came along, and once you have a child, I feel like everybody kind of wants to work through their issues with their family to try to keep things together. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. I know Mama E had kind of spoke on one point in time that maybe there was possibly allegedly some physical, emotional, mental abuse going on in their marriage. And so for them to have been able to overcome that and to move into this next, dimension of their relationship, as far as still being able to work together and create music and have a healthy, good relationship, it was just really beautiful to see, in my opinion. So, those were my thoughts about that scene. It's good to see Tamar back in the studio. She's working with one of Tracy's old producers when she was creating music and doing music. And so I just thought it was a beautiful thing to see that. So as we're waiting on Auntie Diva to come back, I'll just kind of shout out some of the people in the comments. Let's see. Savannah 912 says all these women are something else. And Savannah, I will have to agree with you. AMB, hey everyone, hello. Simeon, hey Diva, hey Royaire, hello. Tisha, Tamar has a lot of work to do, but I love that she's trying to be better. She is in counseling, and I'm proud of her for owning that. In a way, I see Tamar's growth, but then in another way, I struggle because I still see the Tamar that she showed us the very first time. And I'm going to address some of those things as we get further along in this episode and kind of figure out where exactly this growth has begun. I'm interested in it. I'm really, really interested in it. Savannah 912 says Vince may have a factor, may have the it factor, but her antics and attitude overshadow her voice. Come on now, Savannah. You see with the eyes that I see with. But go ahead, Auntie Diva.
I'm going to get Tamar a break now. And I told you that the last recap we did. You're going to come up on her neck. You're going to come up
back on her neck for sure. It's back on her neck for sure.
No, you're going to come up and Tamar neck. So now let's go. But again, I know I had to step away for a minute, but I will say this. Kudos to Tamar and Vince for having such a good relationship because it's going to be to the betterment of their offspring, their child. So I appreciate seeing that, right? And like I said, Royaire, we got to get on Vince right now while he's on the low. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Maybe he'll do it for us at a good discounted rate. Okay, because when he come back,
can do that and an interview. So Vince, if you see, hey, Hey, Mr.
Hey,
Vince, Uncle Vince, listen, we need your help. Come and make us some stars.
okay.
We dedicated to this, okay? So
Okay, thank you, Vince. Okay. All right. Hey, News Radio. Okay, so now we're gonna go to this lunch with Trina, Tawanda, and Missy.
okay.
And what I'm finding is that it seems like for the most part, we gotta see because we already at episode 5 and 6. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like it's really more Trina and Tawanda. Okay, because what's her name, Tony, she off doing her shows and whatnot. So when we see
Mm-hmm.
Tony, it's very brief, but we do see her, but it's very brief. So Miss E called Tony on the phone. She was in France for a show. Okay, and then they were all talking at the table, and they was talking pretty much to say, let's plan this event, in honor of Tracy, and saying,
Mm-hmm.
all the people they was going to invite, and that they was going to have a crab fest for her birthday party. And Tamar got a little emotional at the table, just remembering how her new single that's out, when they was filming this, she's saying that, pretty much she felt Tracy kind of helping her. And she
Yeah.
said also the producer that she's with that helped her do that song, they got connected, her, the producer and Tamar, through Tracy. So she kind of was grateful and was, just saying she was happy. Like that, she says she feels like Tracy drops in every now and then. And when she does drop in, she said you could feel it. I thought that was great. So now they're bringing, they're getting a guest list together, so to speak, of who's going to be at this event. Again, I needed Papa Braxton to be there, but whatever, we're going to work on Mama E. Okay. So Mama E was there. Denise, who was a long time friend of the family, and Denise was there for Tracy throughout her whole illness,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting, right? So Denise is there, Tamar, so all of the family came and was invited to this celebration for Tracy, right? And so so I'll stop there to just say, I thought that was a good scene, Royaire, in the sense that, they were, help me out, that they were, pulling together
Try.
the situation.
Yes.
Yes. Oh shoot. Did you say trying?
They were tried. I don't know about you, but I could feel a little tension at the table
It was.
between the sisters. It was giving to Tawanda and Trina versus Tamar. It just was. It just, I feel like Tamar was here just because she had to be here. She could have cared less whether or not she showed or not. And Mama E was just here trying to fake it for all the girls until they make it. That's just what it was giving me. Now, I could be big wrong, but what I tell you all the time, I'm a good judge of character, baby, okay? And them characters in that scene was not charactering at all. Not at all.
All right, go ahead and eat Elise with your good judge of character.
Because it's giving forced and fake, period. Say it, Savannah.
Y'all cutting up. Y'all cutting up, but the people agree with you. They agree with you. Why aren't we seeing that? What difference does Sheeta and Tawanda have? Whoo, child. All right, y'all. Y'all cutting up already and we early in. All right. So the lunch was given force and fate, but again, I thought it was heartfelt, the part that Tamar said, about Trina. So now we're going to go to the event, the axe throwing event with Trina, Vaughn, her son Eric, and her other son Caleb, right? So her son Eric has been married for a while.
Okay, so he is married.
He is married. The other son is not. He's been married.
So I knew he had a girlfriend, but I just wasn't sure if he was married. 2 years. Okay.
2 years, but they've been together 5 years. So altogether, a 7-year window up to, right? Let's talk Vaughn for a minute. Vaughn, and I haven't said this in a long time.
Hold up.
Okay. Vaughn is a special kind of different. Vaughn is not the father to Trina's 2 sons, but Vaughn wanted to sit there and say to the sons, because the sons said they don't want no children, right? So Vaughn sits there and says to the sons, well, pretty much, if you don't want no kids, he said, you know what? Vaughn needs therapy. Vaughn needs to go into therapy with Spirit too. Spirit got a lot of work to do. She got 24/7. She got work to do because Vaughn needs help. Vaughn going to sit there and he's angry and bitter. That ex-wife, he is stinking hot mad at the ex-wife, okay? Because he was like, you know, if you don't want children, you got to do something about it. He said, because he said they, like, meaning the woman, they're the ones that make the decision on whether a kid is going to come or not. So I'm glad I'm out of that part. And if you want to be not have kids, he's going to suggest that these young boys get a vasectomy if they don't want kids, so they can take back control of who's going to be kind of responsible for how the kids. Who suggest? Come on now, Felicia. Listen, I told you. Thank God Trina took him off the streets. Now, none of us have to run into him. I want to know who his family is. I want to know who his cousins, if he got any brothers, because I don't want them. They'll stay clear. What's Vaughn's last name? If anybody walk up to me, I'm be like, what's your last name? If it's his people last name, I'm running. They're going to be like, she crazy. I'm going to take off running. Get out of here. He crazy. How you going to tell somebody else's child what they need to do with their body because they need to take back control because the woman is in charge of who's going to have kids? Like your own wife is going to trick you? Go ahead, Royaire. He got me pissed. That's why I'm giving him two side eyes.
Okay. So y'all can go ahead and shade me now in the comments because I do not disagree. Unfortunately, Black men have a lot of fatherless children out here because they chose to stick it and didn't want to be responsible for what they brought into the world. And so I feel that Vaughn is giving great advice that any positive role model would give a male who currently does not want children. Now, from the research that I have seen, vasectomies can be reversed, okay? So that if you change your mind, you can have children. But if that is something that you do not want, I do feel that you should do something about that so that you're not bringing in children in this world who are fatherless and irresponsible and being raised with the example of Trump. Trump is, in my opinion, an example of a father being in the home presently, but not being a responsible father and teaching their child exactly how to be. So I feel like Vaughn is giving mature advice. This is just advice. He did not tell them to get vasectomies. His statement was, if you don't want children, you should think about getting a vasectomy. And I feel like that is true. If you don't want them, that is something as a male that you should think about. Because when a female get pregnant, all of a sudden it's the female's fault. She should have did this. She should have did that. But what about you as a male? What should you have done to make sure that you didn't want to happen what happened? That's just my opinion. Condoms are not 100% proof. Taking medications and things like that is not always the way. He told them what needed to be said. If you don't want the kids, you need to make sure you get a vasectomy so that you're not bringing in children in this world that you're not going to take care of and not going to be responsible for. I'm sorry. I agree with Vaughn.
Well, we had a fork in the road. You ain't about to tell my seed to go up underneath the knife. Because you bitter. Vaughn is bitter. He's bitter. He's angry.
But Trina is trying to force her children to have kids that they do not want. And that is not fair. That is not fair. You cannot put that type of pressure on your children. That's how people have children and then end up being shitty, crappy ass parents because they don't want the responsibility, but you was okay to bring it in. And I'm tired of seeing our grandparents having to raise the children that the children should have been raising. That's even if the grandparent is okay
let's
with
talk about something else, Vaughn. I don't know how many of y'all caught it. So Eric said he'd been sober for a couple months or something like that. Because he gonna tell the kids when they sat down at the axe throwing thing, he gonna tell the kids, grab a beer. And then Trina was like, well, Eric not drinking. Oh, he like, how that working for you? Huh? How that working for you? Not encouraging him. Something is wrong with Vaughn. He was like, how that working for you? And he like, well, it's working good because I'm like 2 months or however many months he said he hasn't drank any alcohol. So no, I'm sorry. Vaughn is giving bad advice. Vaughn is bitter. Vaughn is mad because he had to pay child support to that ex-wife, and he trying to act like the ex-wife tricked them into having however many kids him and the ex-wife got. Vaughn is messy.
It's giving messy. That was definitely giving messy. But I had to stand 10 toes down as a man and as a individual who have peers who have children that they didn't want and are not taking responsibility for them. I think that was great advice for Vaughn to give. Snip it and move on, or be a father to the children that you bring into this world. And a lot of the men do not want to step up and do that. So something's got to change.
Change is on the horizon. Okay.
What is the new slogan, Diva? We're not going back. Okay.
Child. Listen, where am I?
Something that they really do need to think about, Diva. No, I really do think that is something that they need to think about themselves.
Condom.
But sometimes condoms are not always 100%.
They've been working, right? He been with that.
And I do believe that females can trick a man into having a baby that they don't want. I do believe that females do it, and it can be done. So the way to fix it all together, snip.
We moving on.
Okay. We should do a poll. I'll do a poll.
I said, do you think Vaughn was right? In 20 people voted, 34% said yes, and 64% said no. So the people seem to agree with you that this man was right in telling some young guys to go snippy snip. That's messy.
Listen, we need responsibility in these streets. And if the men not going to do it, with the condom, and the females not going to act right, we just got to go snip. Sorry. Listen. But like I said, from what I hear in my research, it is reversible. So if it is something that they choose to do later on, the females can freeze their eggs, guys can freeze their sperm now. It's just, there are other ways. But, let's think about it, and let's be responsible, and let's do the right thing. Let's stop bringing in kids with no daddies. Let's stop it. Stop.
I will tell you this, KJ. Let me tell you this. This is what the end of the part of like, Vaughn is a bitter stepdaddy.
Vaughn, you may be bitter than everything else, but you was right about that. Next.
He a bitter stepdaddy. Woo, child, I'm glad she took that man off the streets, okay? Yeah. So now, we're going to go to the scene where Tawanda, she don't stop calling this boy Scratchy. She in her car, she in the Tesla, call Scratchy.
I was waiting on Siri to be like, unrecognizable.
Okay, so she's flying him out to the birthday party. And let me tell you, she's self-centered, and we'll get to that towards the end of what happened at the end. But she called them because she flying him out to the birthday party, right? And she told him, "Don't tell nobody. It's a surprise." He said, "Okay," right? And then, you know, it's the scene with Vaughn and Trina. They go to some park or whatever. They sitting down talking. And that's when he told her, you know, I told them to get a vasectomy. And she was like, no, sir. Of course, she didn't say that to his face. She said it in the confessional, right? She need to sit up and stand up to this man, because I watched another one of their cooking episodes, and Vaughn is a piece of work. It couldn't be me and him in that kitchen cooking.
Not y'all be throwing knives and pots and pans.
Child, that would be a whole nother cooking show. No, he too much. He too much. He's just overbearing. He just, you know, he just too much. Her son.
Alicia said she is over Tawanda in that Tesla.
But she filming, you know, he filming every scene in that Tesla. Can we get a seat in your house? Can we get a seat in your house?
Child.
That part. And they said that the Tesla's borrowed.
Ooh.
Child, I wouldn't be surprised, because we don't see her in nothing else, right? And then, so now we're going to get to Tracy's birthday party. It was a big space. It wasn't really that full. I don't know if they just had only a certain amount of people on the guest list or whatever. I'm not sure what else was on the menu outside of crabs, because when they went to the sternos, all you saw was crabs. I mean, did they get a starch?
I'm not with you. I'm not. I didn't see a salad. I didn't see no broccoli.
No bread or roll.
We're just drinking and eating crabs today.
Listen. Tamar came through, and Tamar was right. She said, this heart player got to go.
I see the heart player. I said, what is this? Another funeral? Like, what are we doing? Yeah. Like,
she said it's too sad. So it was Tamar, Miss E, Trina, Sean, and Vaughn. I didn't see them there, okay? I saw Trina's sons, Eric and his wife, and the girlfriend or whatever. Tawanda kids was there. Okay. And the surprise was Scratchy. He came.
Oh my God.
The surprise was Scratchy. So why does he always seem like they gave him what to say before he walked through? Because he's something ain't right.
Something's not right. Okay. Now listen, I'm gonna give little Kev a pass because it's an emotional time right now. Okay.
Yes.
Little Kev is not used to filming this much. I will say that as well. We did not see Kev like this much when the original Braxtons came out. So this could be new to him.
Yes, it's overwhelming. It's
overwhelming. It's he going through a divorce. He done lost his mom. His dad is not there.
Right.
The child has got full custody with him. I mean, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. We're gonna excuse the kid.
We're gonna excuse him. You know what though? The conversation though that happened at the table while Trina, Tawanda was eating their crabs, Mama E was there, Tamar was there, and Tamar asked a very robotic. He's very robotic. That's the word for it. Very robotic. Yeah, it's weird, right? So so Tamar wanted to know, and I don't care what none of y'all say right now. Y'all got to admit this was dead wrong. Tamar wanted to know why she didn't know Tracy was sick into the hospice. And when the hospice step in, it's at the end of the line. It's over. Why she didn't know that Tracy was sick into the meeting with the hospice nurse. And so Trina gonna come out her mouth. Trina is like nice nasty. right? Trina gonna come out her mouth and say, well, you know y'all wasn't on good terms. Why are you doing that on this TV? Why are you going to do that? Why are you going to say that on this TV? So Tamar was like, what you know, son, I don't know. And then she gonna call the other guy over there, the producer, to concur that Tamar and Tracy were not on good terms. And then Tamar asked Denise a good question that Denise really didn't answer. It's a lot happened at that table. She said, Denise, can I ask you a question, Miss Denise? She said, why when Tracy got sick and she called you, you dropped everything in your whole life that you was doing and you was with Tracy every single day? Now, I didn't even know that was a question I had, but I like that question and I want to answer. Go ahead, Royaire.
You know, I think you're going a little delusional like Tamar. I think you kind of losing it because
don't do that.
I can't believe we're gonna sit up here and play like Tamar is not messy. Like Tamar has not said the most atrocious things, especially about Tracy. Diva, your sister's sick for 2 years.
Oh,
And you don't know about it? You, just you. We're talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know about it?
That's messed up.
I'm asking, if your sister is sick for 2 years.
I would know about it, but we got to deal with what happened to Tay Tay.
So why Tay Tay don't know that your sister been sick for 2 years? You ain't pick up the phone. You ain't get an inkling that something was off.
Don't do that.
You ain't been to visit your sister in 2 years.
Don't do that.
You know, you that girl. You know, you've been in therapy. You doing better. You trying to build better relationships. These are the things that Tamar said. We just going based off what Tammy said, okay? Because we love Tammy. But you didn't know your sister was sick and dying for 2 years? 2 years. Not 6 months. Not a year. Not a year and a half. But 2 years. And you mad because she didn't tell you? Everybody else knew, but Tamar was the only one that didn't know.
Now, this is, let me tell you something. Mikey, the brother, and he was at the Tracy birthday celebration too.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, the brother, Tamar called everybody. She called Mama E. Mama E didn't tell her nothing. Shame on you, Mama E. She called Tony. Tony ain't tell her nothing. She called Tawanda. Tawanda didn't want to tell her nothing. She called Trina. Trina didn't want to tell her nothing. She called Mikey. Mikey didn't want to tell her nothing. And I'm going to say this right here, right now. And I know ain't nobody standing with me. Well, all of them.
I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know.
That's right. All of them Royaire was dead wrong for not saying, yo, she's sick. Don't say I said nothing, but call Tracy.
She can't be trusted to do that. And you and I both know that. You and I both know that. You wasn't even supposed to tell nobody when you found out. Who did you go and tell? You told the messiest queen on the block, Carlos King. Really, ma'am? Really? You cannot be trusted. That's why you did not know. Number two, if somebody would have told her, then you would have been mad at Tracy because you didn't tell me why you didn't instead of coming to her in a humbling way. No, I'm sorry. Granted, it may have been wrong for them to not tell her, but they were given instructions. And when somebody tell me not to say something, I'm going to do my darnest not to say anything, especially to someone that cannot be trusted. And Tamar cannot be trusted. Her emotions are too erratic. She makes erratical decisions based off of emotion. And it would have been told before anybody else could have not told it. Like, I'm sorry. Well, just again, like she left her husband with nothing in the will because of his behavior, because of her behavior, she wasn't told about the sickness. You may need to go back and watch season 1, 2, and 3 to just see how radical her behavior was towards all of the sisters.
I know people got issues with Tamar from the Braxton Family Matters, but guess what, people? This is the Braxtons, and Tamar's a little bit different now. I think it is wrong. I think it is wrong. It is wrong that they didn't tell her what happened. She lost time with her sister because everybody wanted to keep this a secret. You on mute, Royaire. For some reason, I'm not hearing you, but I don't see you on mute. You wasn't on mute. Is it me? Can y'all hear Royaire? Can y'all hear me? Y'all gotta talk to us.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Oh, it's bouncing. I'm sorry. Okay, so I really think because of the speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I really think because of her behavior, Tracy just could not she knows that Tamar would have been over the top, dramatic, doing the most, and she did not need that around her. I feel like, in my personal opinion, because of Tamar's past, she would have made it about Tamar, and everything is not about you. For once, something is about Tracy, and Tracy needed everybody to be on one accord about that. And I don't feel like Tamar would have been able to do that. She still is not doing it today. I don't see the growth that everybody is claiming to see in Tamar. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And it blows my mind when Tamar says that, you know, people painted a picture of who she is. Who said it all? Somebody always say, I can't remember who said. I want to say you say this all the time. Mm-hmm. The camera can't show what you're not giving it.
Yeah, I do say that.
Okay. She painted a picture for herself and it gave what it was. And I'm still seeing those things. So I can't give her this woo, you know, celebration that I want to give her because I just don't see a change. Even when this stuff with JR happened, what was the first thing she did? Hopped on Instagram Live and went off. Where is the therapy kicking in? When is it going to kick in?
She broke down. She broke down.
But I thought we had been in therapy and we were better and we doing good.
I ain't doing this with you right now. she broke down. Listen, when it comes to matters of the heart, you get emotional.
And she makes emotional decisions, and that's why she did not know.
Okay, all right. That's it. Well, let's move on to episode 6. It takes a village. And you listen, and that's a good name. You want to know why, Royaire? Because it takes a village to heal the family.
It does.
They are icing Tamar out because everybody in the family knew that she was sick, that Tracy was sick, and Tamar living her life not knowing that her sister was sick. They're wrong for that. Go ahead. It takes a village.
It takes a village. Well, everybody, remember that we are currently live on both channels. So hit the like button on both channels. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe to Chronicles of the Gray-Haired Diva and Royaire's World. Hit that share button. Let the people know that we are live for the Braxtons episode 5. And now we are going into episode 6. So let's get into this. So it takes a village. So we open up, you know, in this scene. So you know what? I'm starting to kind of notice we're kind of bouncing back and forth between the Trina and Tawanda show versus the Tamar, Tony, and Miss E show. I don't know if you kind of noticed that, but it kind of switched this episode to kind of Tony, Tamar, and Miss E a lot. We've seen a lot of them. I don't think we've seen any of Trina or Tawanda until the end of the episode. But we open up with Mama E and Tony meeting up in LA for a little lunch. You know, as you said earlier, Tony has been MIA doing her thing, which, if we really kind of think about it, that's always kind of been Tony when it comes to the Braxtons. You know, we see a bit of her and then the rest of the family kind of takes over. But I love that we're seeing a little bit more of Tony. So, you know, Tony gets out of the car, her BMW, walks in looking fabulous. The heels was cute. The hair was beat. The makeup was everything. For a sick woman, she did that, okay? So she... Listen, Diva, don't nobody sick be walking out like that looking at, she did look a little, sickly, but she did her thing to be on TV and sick, okay? So Mama E pulls up, she talks, tells Mama E she have a cold. Mama E said, ugh, but she said, it's not.
Okay, the BMW, you better come on, call out the cars. Come on now.
I love me a Beamer, baby.
Oh, it takes a village, but if the village isn't stable, that's a problem. Well.
Ooh,
well, that's a word right there on a Sunday.
Word,
child. That's a word right there on a Sunday. Go ahead, Roy. I'm sorry.
Yes. So, Tony is asking Mama E for an update because, like Tamar, Tony is not tapped into the family, which is why a lot of stuff, they miss out on. Mm-hmm. But Mom talks about Tracy's birthday celebration. It was beautiful. Little Kev was the surprise to the family for coming. She said that Kevin, is not in a good place. He's really kind of lost direction of his life. Mama E is really worried about him, but she knows that at the end of the day, he's going to pull through, and get through this rough time. But Mama E is very concerned. And I love that we see the concern from Tracy's mom for her son. I have experienced some friends losing their parents, and sometimes the family just kind of disarrays all over. Yeah. But it's beautiful to see that Mama E and the sisters are really trying, especially Tawanda and Trina, are really trying to make efforts to be there for Kevin. After talking about Kevin, Mama E kind of rolls into what's going on with Tony. Tony is up for a residency in Vegas with Cedric the Entertainer. She's going to be singing and dancing, and Seti is going to be doing jokes, okay? Now, Tony said, it's going good, other than getting sick, she's just trying to do better health-wise, making sure she's isolating, keeping her body in a good place so that she can perform. She says that this residency is going to start on Mother's Day. So that was this past Mother's Day. Did you hear anything about this residency? Okay. So,
you have to do that. That was ugly. That was ugly. You ain't have to do that.
Serious. I just wanted to know. I was seriously asking, like, if people in the comments, let me know if anybody went to the residency out in Vegas. I would really like to know, how it was. And I mean, personally, I would love to see Toni Braxton in concert. That is a concert that I am looking to go to, and pay good money to go to because I love Toni. But I just wanted to know what it was like, because nobody has said anything. I haven't heard anything. So I was just asking. So, Toni says that she's going to be telling jokes at this residency. And so... I'm being serious.
Tony won Grammys. Don't be doing that.
I'm being serious. You up here
Tony won Grammys. Don't do that.
Yeah, she was 6.
Don't do that.
Yes, but I don't know how the show was. I'm not saying it was Tony. It could have been Seti. He was maybe not the good act, but
don't do that. She won Grammys. Don't do that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So Toni said, she will also be telling jokes as well at this comedy show, singing show.
Oh, I gotta get myself together. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Ooh, child. All right. Ooh, we back, y'all. We back. We got together. Okay. Ooh.
So Toni had a joke for the crowd. Okay, she said, "What did you?"
Oh my God! All right.
Do we need to just move on from this scene because we can't get it together?
Ooh, my stomach hurt. Hurt. You started. Go ahead. Okay, no, woosah, because we need to talk about this. Go ahead, woosah. Yeah. Go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Toni had a joke for the table because she was working on comedy as well. Okay.
Right.
So Toni said, what do you call a gummy bear with no teeth? And the waiter said, I'm not sure. What do you call it? And she said, no, I got the joke wrong. Y'all got the point, okay? What do you call a bear with no teeth? It was a gummy bear, okay? So that was the joke. Nobody laughed. It wasn't funny. Mommy said, keep singing, don't tell jokes no more.
Oh my God. I cannot. Okay. Oh, I need my triangle. Where's Candace when you need her?
Oh my God, yes, for the triangle. Come through. Yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Candace, she is out here looking beautiful with that baby bump. They look really happy.
She does. A Potomac missed out.
Sipping on that haterade.
That boy.
But anyway, so Trina took out Mama E to, find a dress because Tony is supposed to be setting her up on a date. Well, apparently Tony forgot all about it. She offered her mama to be with somebody because Tony said, oh, well, okay, I didn't know if you were serious or not, right? Okay. So, over the years of the Braxtons, 6 seasons in the first season, 1 season now, we've seen Mama E, talk about the type of men that she like. And, we've seen her on a few dates as well. And, I can't remember any that have gone, in Miss E's favor. But, Tony asked Miss E, what would you like in, a man? What about an ex basketball player? Well, Miss E seems to have a problem with every man and everything that is on the list, okay? Can't have an ex-basketball player because, he may have fell down and hit his head a few times and, not have the good sense that he needs to be with Miss E. Miss Tony suggested maybe a professor. Well, the professor has had to use his brain so much that he may have Alzheimer's. And so, he can't remember everything Miss E needs him to remember. Tony asked for an age range. What about, 30 or 40? That's too young for Miss E. What about, 80? That's too old for Miss E. He has to be tall. He has to be financially stable. He can't be 80. I don't think there's a man out here for Miss E. She need to go on down to Candy Coated, order her some toys and keep it pushing because ain't nobody gonna get with you with all this, boo. What are we doing? Needless to say, I don't think we'll find a man for Miss E, but Tony said she is gonna keep trying because she wants to see Miss E happy, okay? Any suggestions on that scene, Auntie?
Well, listen, you hit the nail on the head. It was nice to see Tony in the scene. I guess I'll say that. I always like Toni Braxton. I think she's absolutely gorgeous.
Have you been to a Toni Braxton show before?
I have. At the NJ Pack in New Jersey. I have been to a Toni Braxton show. And listen, Toni she doesn't have a show like a Janet Jackson or because she doesn't have those songs where you got to do all that dancing or whatever the case may be. Toni Braxton's always been one that been like a kind of like a sex symbol. She's absolutely gorgeous. During her concerts, she wears beautiful outfits, right? Beautiful clothing, and she has a voice, right? So that's pretty much what you get from a Braxton show. Now, when I went to see Toni Braxton, it wasn't all this. I got to ask my brother because I went with my brother and some other people. But if I back up, I think all the sisters were there. I'm not sure if Tamar was there, but I know Trina did back up for her. Her sisters came out at one point and did back up for her. So I thought that was really nice. So she does give a good show, right?
Did she give stage presence?
She does.
Okay.
She does. But like I said, you're not going to get a show. You got to know what you get when you get.
It's not going to be Beyonce.
It's not going to be Beyonce.
Okay.
But she doesn't even have those songs like that where she got to do a whole lot of dancing around and moving. That's not Toni Braxton's catalog, so to speak. So yeah, but for what it was a good show. I had a good time at the Toni Braxton show when I went. Now let's say this with my Miss E. Let's be clear. They're just giving Miss E things to do with these scenes of her, looking for a man for Miss E. Because let's be clear, Miss E is not going to be good with nobody because she is still pissy pop mad at Papa Braxton. Papa Braxton done moved on with his life. He got a whole new wife. They he married. He got a wife. He been living his life.
He married to the woman that he was cheating on her with.
Yeah, you ain't have to bring that up. You ain't have to do that. You ain't have to do that. You ain't have to
Still,
but that's still right. But that's facts. But he has moved on. And I find that unfortunately, and maybe there needs to be a seminar or something to go out to the ladies out there. Like these men, they can move on easy. But a lot of times the woman in the relationship, they stay in a broken space, so to speak. And Miss E, in my opinion, has never rose up from that broken space. And I don't care what man they bring to her, it's never going to work. But we'll get to that man they did bring to her, and he definitely is not going to work. But go ahead.
Okay. So nice scene, as you said, with that. So now we moved into Tamar and Carlos King. Carlos King is hosting a Monday Night Live on his podcast down in the Atlanta of the Georgia, okay? And so let me tell you, one thing Carlos is going to make sure he does is gets his producer credits. He's going to make sure that Kingdom, what is his company? Kingdom something? He's going to make sure he gets his credits, okay? Because I've seen all of his name, everything down in the credits. He did his thing, okay? So Tamar shows up, to the interview. Carlos walks in the room. He is excited to see Tamar. They are giggling. They are laughing. They are smiling, And, first of all, I was shocked that Tamar did a live interview with him because Tamar just does not seem like a live girl to me, especially everything that's kind of happened since the Braxtons and the passing of her sister and everything. So I thought that was very different. Kingdom Reign, thank you so much. I think that was very opening for her to do. I could definitely see that Tamar was nervous still, though, because she wasn't exactly sure what direction Carlos was going to go in, what he would be talking about. And so after greeting Tamar and showing her love, Tamar immediately said, so what we going to be talking about tonight? Because she ain't going to be out here telling all her business and giving everything to the people, okay? And so, Carlos, as he always does, he amps up the girls and tell them this is all about you, boo, okay? We are talking about you, and more of you, which Tamar loves to do that because it's the Tamar show anyway. So, Tamar said, okay, well, what exactly is off limits? And, Carlos says nothing is off limits, but I think Carlos has a respectable notion of how far to go and how far not to go, okay? So, as they continue to kiki and hee, Tamar, opened up about, messy Mondays and how she got to bring it because she know what type of time it is, y'all, okay? So we kind of take a break from Tamar and Carlos King. Oh, before I move on, did you have anything to say about that?
About the podcast?
Just the beginning portion, because we'll get into that show.
No, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. So we bounce back into LA with Tony and her stylist, Ashley. She's meeting up with her wardrobe creator for the residency show. His name is Michael. And so Tony seems to be very excited. She's having conversation with the girls. And so she tells them, Mama E is out here dating. Do you know anybody who can hook up with Mama E? They're suggesting dating websites. We all know Mama E is not getting on no dating website. Oh boy has a brother that's 50. Mama E said, that's not it. Tony was trying on one of her outfits for the show, which I thought was a very beautiful outfit. I love, as you said earlier, Tony has always been kind of the sex symbol for her genre of music, if you may. And I thought it was just kind of funny to me how she felt like she was showing too much cheek in this outfit, and we've seen a lot more from Tony, so
that part.
I was just like, girl, what you talking about? You know how you do, give it to the people. And I think, for Tony to be her age, she looks, that body.
Amazing.
Flawless, beautiful. So, that was a nice little scene. She opened up about her son, Denim, stepping into the modeling world. She's trying to be a momager, but on the low, doesn't really want, son to be too embarrassed by her. But, she shouted him out. Mr. Michael is supposed to be coming out with a clothing line. And so he says, Denim, he's a model. Book him. Tell all your friends. Tell all your family. He's in the show. Okay. So we anything on that little season segment?
Well, we'll talk about, Tamar in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was interesting, and she had said it before, but I forgot. She's just a friend of the show, the Braxton show, right? So she's not really considered a full cast member. She's a friend of. And I sat there and thought to myself, I said, wow, who is a friend of the show that's named after their family? And you just a friend of. But that's why we're seeing pockets of her popping in and out, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's the Braxtons, but really the Braxtons is Trina and Tawanda, because Tony's off doing her shows, and she pops in via a phone call and a FaceTime every now and then, or a lunch with my Miss E, and Tamar comes through when she feel like it. So it's almost like this is the Trina and Tawanda show, right? Mm-hmm. But I thought that was interesting. She said, I'm protecting my peace and I'm just a friend of, right? So I caught that, thought it was interesting. For those of y'all, so, my little secret, I love reality shows and I've been loving them for a long time now, Graham. So I'm in love with this show called Project Runway. Mm-hmm. And so that is where Michael, this designer that Tony Braxton went to see, he is from Project Runway. Yes, come on, talk about it. And so I loved him when he was on Project Runway. But what I loved about this situation, because Tony has been working with him for years now, mm-hmm. for costumes or whatever. So what I personally loved about that scene was to see, one, that she's still working with Michael.
Loyalty.
Oh, see, you better get the words. That's big. That's big. Loyalty, right? And that he made it and really, did something for himself outside of the reality show Project Runway. He has his store. He made it big. I love seeing that. And I love seeing that, he's been working with her. But from Project Runway to what I saw now, he is super tiny. He wasn't that tiny, on Project Runway. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole nother story for another day. It seems like everybody is on some type of med and getting super thin, but that's another story for another day. So I love that. It's in terms of Tamar and Carlos King.
Well, before we get into that, let me break that down for us, because I got the whole setup for us. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead.
So we're starting this.
Well, let me add this, because you talked about Tony getting a job for her son Denim. Mm-hmm. I like that too, because listen, guys, getting jobs is hard for the people in the streets now.
If you don't know nobody,
that part. If your mother, sister, brother, cousin, friend can help you get your foot in the door, holla.
You better swing that beat open, okay?
That part. And step your foot in. Okay. So
your best foot forward now. Don't just come walking in the door any old kind of way. Bring your best foot forward.
Especially if your friend did it for you.
Okay.
Clean yourself up and come right.
Show
up on time. and do the work.
Do the work.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes. Now listen, show up on time, do your best you can, because we ain't always the most prompt people, but okay.
Hold on 1 second. Magical Mermaid, I gotta check into that. I did not know it was a Weinstein production. That I didn't know. But Project Runway, that was my show. I love it. Oh, go ahead, Royaire.
Wow, that's telling.
But he did a lot of stuff, though.
I mean, yeah, but that's telling. That's tea. Let me look into that. Yeah, look into that. We'll be breaking this down. So, Tamar live interview with Carlos King. Okay. Now, as you know, listen, shout out to Carlos King. Hey, Carlos, y'all go over there, support his channel. If you did not watch that live interview with Tamar, it was a very good interview. Some very interesting things was said. So go back and catch that. But here's bits and pieces of what happened. So, we're set in a nice size venue in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. There are 2 white, beautiful leather chairs sitting on the stage, 2 golden tables next to them, okay? There's a velvet red backdrop in the background. Diva, I got to give it. Now, I don't really, Carlos be doing what he do. But what I will say is when he show up and do a production, it is done very classy. It is done very elegantly. I just love the setup that they had for the night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to be a nice crowd. Everybody was very excited. Carlos gets up there. He introduces Tamar. The crowd goes crazy. Okay. So Carlos' first question was, "How are you?" And so Tamar seems to give the same answer in every interview she does. She says she is healthy, she's blessed, and she's grateful. Okay. Nice place to be in, Tamar. Let's live it out. Okay. Tamar never done a live podcast. So as I said earlier, she stated she was nervous just to see, what Carlos would be asking, but she was excited. So Carlos' next big question was, what made you want to go into reality TV? Tamar said, she grew up in the age of watching a lot of Black scripted television. We had the Cosbys, you had Urkel show, you had Good Times, all of those great scripted Black television shows. And Diva, it was very honest in what she said. We have kind of lost our way with Black scripted television shows, sitcoms, we missed those. And so she felt that there was not a show with Black women from all walks of life, showing themselves in this life and what they're doing. And so that is why she felt it was time to create the Braxtons. Carlos said that, Tamar was one of the standout ladies of the show, the breakout, what they call it, the breakout person.
Breakout stars. Uh-huh.
And Tamar, I don't understand why she never receives that accolade. I feel like it's because the breakout was at the risk of her family, in my opinion. But she said that she was the breakout star and she was happy about it, but it also kind of confused the relationship roles with her siblings. And so, Carlos asked, if you could have the choice of doing this again or not doing this again, would you do it? She said, in the terms of my family relationships, no. In returns of the culture of, the show and what we created, yes. She was able to see that, other families were aligned like her and able to show other families that we are human too. We have issues, we have problems, we make mistakes, okay? Mm-hmm. Tamar talked about, her and Vince's relationship. Carlos asked, do you feel that your success came at the cost of your marriage? And so Tamar opened up with the statement that her and Vince were 26 when they first met and got together. And she felt that, when you're that young getting together, you're kind of growing up together in her situation. They were growing up together. And unfortunately, in their growing together, they grew separately in their own individual ways. But she is appreciative for the relationship that she has with Vince. Her and Vince are in a great place. They are great co-parents and they're doing a really good job. Carlos talked about the Braxtons being back and they're filming. As you said, he asked Tamar, how's that going? And she says she's a friend to the show. Now, the last I checked, a friend of the show is not able to be on the main poster for the show. So maybe we need to scratch Tamar off of that since she's just
that's wild
to the show.
That is wild.
I'm just giving you what she said. I mean, any other show we watch, we don't see no friend of the show having a main space on the main screen. Do we, Diva? Do we?
That is wild. We ain't gonna. We're not doing this. We're not doing this on no Sunday. Go ahead.
She says she has to be responsible for her mental health, okay? Uh-huh. And that's why she cannot be a friend to the show. I mean, that's why she has to remain a friend to the show. She said that she did this for Tracy. This was Tracy's last wish. And so she came back for Tracy. She said if she is, going to be kind, which I don't understand why she wouldn't be in general. But she said, if I'm nice, there are different people at the network who, and Carlos said, who look like us. And so Tamar gave a little shady, which, not shading our people who look like us, but okay, we here for you, Tamar, Tamar says that, they are here for all of the girls, Tony, Tracy, Tawanda, Trina, they are the girls. And, that was her interview. She thanked Carlos. Carlos thanked her. He said he was a lucky boy. And that was the end of that. Your thoughts and, suggestions or, anything.
Well, I mean, I love that they showed us this, right? Um, I feel like we gotta. I understand how Tamar came across, whether it's her fault or whatever. The first few seasons of the Braxtons, right? Family values.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to who the fans connect with, that is not up to the people in the production, right? Because if you go back to these sitcoms, I want to say the sitcom where it had Monique the comedian, and I forgot the other person, the actress that was on with it. Countess Vaughn. The breakout stars, the one they was promoting really to be the star was Monique.
Mm-hmm.
But people connected to Countess, right? And they was like, so Tamar had no control over the fans just connecting with her. Because at first they did. Because when she was doing that .com, everything you heard from people was .com this, .com that, right? So she had her moment. And I don't think that was her fault. She had no control over that, right? So my point is this, that it probably yes, right, come on, exactly, because the viewers fell in line with the Tamartians. Yes. So I will say this, that when it comes to the sister and sisterhood, when it comes to just friendship and all of that period, when you have a production, because we kind of saw it on Roa, right? Mm-hmm. Where after a while people were getting, whether you want to call it jealous or a little envious of Nene Leakes. It happens, right? And it takes strong individual. You get your life. Everybody was saying that. Mm-hmm. Everyone was saying that. So Tamar was coming out with these quick wit, natural stuff where everybody was just utilizing her lines, right? Yes, come on now with the get your life, all of that. So I say that to say what? I'm sure when they did the show, now I'm not talking about any of the sisters, I'm talking to producers, they thought primarily we could do this show because everybody loves Toni Braxton and everybody knows her music. We didn't really know much about the other sisters, but we knew Toni. And then here comes out of nowhere, Tamar and this over-the-top personality grabbed the viewers in. It wasn't until later on where they started to get really sick of her and they was like, okay, she's teamed too much. So it was almost like they uplifted her and then they chopped the legs off of the pedestal when they felt like she was doing too much and being too much. So I get what she's saying, that for the culture it was needed, but at the same time, for her mental health, it took a toll on her personally. When they backed and showed the scene where she told production, like, I had enough, this is going to be my last scene, I took it as, like she said, from season 3, she was trying to back out of it. But I'm sure the sisters told her, because at that point, the people, love it or not, they love to hate her. So the family probably felt like, without Tamar, what is our show going to do? So it's like they begged her to stay to continue the show because they wanted the money. But at the same time, they fed into Tamar was just too much. Just like they're all soft and pink now about Tracy. But let's be clear, as a family, they should have never let the name Wannabe be connected to their sister Tracy. So they tried to explain that in episode 5 of how Tracy became known as the Wannabe or whatever. But as sisters, and I'm talking all of them, this is not just Tamar, as sisters, y'all shouldn't have had no production going on with your other sister name up there being called a wannabe. Because I would have told them, we ain't doing that, not to my sister. Mm-hmm. My sister is not a wannabe. My sister is a part of this family. And y'all can find, you want to call me Diva, hey, whatever, call me Diva. But now you want to start calling me something, a wannabe. I'm blood. How can I be a wannabe? But all of them allowed that to go on. So what I'm saying is two things can be true at once. Yeah, Tamar at first, she helped put the Braxton family values on the map. And then later on, she became a whole lot and too much for everybody. Everybody started to get sick of her shenanigans. But at the same time, I can connect with her when she said, I wanted to quit at season 3. And I'm sure behind the scenes, because all these productions care about is making money, they kept talking to her, said, don't quit, don't quit. And while she was staying in for the family and not quitting, it was taking more and more of a toll on her mental health. That's what I feel about that scene.
Alrighty, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony's son, because the people not gonna take accountability or responsibility for their behavior, so it's okay. Tony and Denim are at his modeling photo shoot.
Yeah.
First of all, oh my God, I don't know if he's 18 years or older, but oh my God, beautiful, handsome, looking like his mama and his daddy. Wonderful. He's going to do great in the modeling industry. I really think he's going to do great. He has
I do too.
for it. He has the face for it. He seems like he has a nice, pleasant energy about him. Yes. So, yes, I really enjoyed this scene. So, Denim is in hair and makeup, getting prepared for his photo shoot. Tony is walking in, coming in, trying to be low key, not do too much, but do just enough to make, her look good and to make him want to seem like, I need her on my team. So it was a beautiful thing. I loved it. She came in introducing herself. Hi, I'm Denim's mom. She's critiquing photos and, giving her little 2 cents in. It was such a beautiful scene. Him and Tony took a few pictures together. They are just beautiful mother-son, duo. Just such a cute scene. Denim and Tony sat down to have a conversation. He opened up to his mom about really wanting to, do this modeling thing. He thinks that's where his success is. He opened up to his mom about being grateful and thankful for everything that his mom and dad have done for him. And, he appreciates his family and, he appreciates being Tony Braxton's son, but he wants to make a name for himself. He wants Denim Braxton to be someone, to be somebody. And I thought that was a beautiful thing. I think it's beautiful that when we see our celebrity children who have grown up in the limelight have their own dreams and aspirations other than just living off in mom and dad's clout. I think that is always such a positive thing. And it makes me know that, parents are still out here parenting and doing a good job of making sure that their seeds continue on, providing for themselves and making the legacy of them continue on. So I thought this was a beautiful, beautiful scene. Anything in that?
I love the scene. Absolutely loved it. You know what? No matter if the kids are adults or they're still young, I love when the reality shows show us these kid moments.
Yes.
I don't know why I fall for it every time. I thought he was a well-mannered. I liked it. I liked the scene a lot. Good luck to Denim in his modeling career. I think it's a cute name, DB, Denim Braxton. Right? Something about it. I do like. So I wish her well. And I thought, and Tony's so cute. I thought the way she rolled in, I liked her laid back jumpsuit look. I was here for the scene. Every now and then they give us these little plop in filler scenes.
Yes.
And, sometimes they're a hit, sometimes they're a miss. Well, that for me was a hit. I love them. But I will tell you this, what I didn't like for Royaire, if this is him doing his photo shoot to get out there, I'm gonna need a better outfit. But that's me.
I yeah.
Okay. We can move forward. Yeah,
we can move forward on that.
the outfit wasn't given. He's a nice looking man, right? Young man. That outfit wasn't bringing nothing. It didn't give us no The
It
picture
didn't
was
versatile.
right.
Yes, it did not give versatile. Yeah. It did not give I can do more than this.
Right.
It was giving this is me and this is what I do. Take it or leave it. That's just how I felt.
Everyday pictures.
Yeah.
It was everyday pictures. And not even like I'm going to no hot party. It was given I'm going to the supermarket.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So Mama E is back in LA. Mama E is back in LA to meet with her girlfriends for lunch. Okay. So we have Marla Gibbs, actress Marla Gibbs, who looks fabulous.
Yes.
We have her friend Angela, and we have the Honorable Judge Maybelline. Shout out to Judge Maybelline. I love me some Judge Maybelline.
Yeah.
I love divorce court. Okay, period. So let's see. One thing that I want to give a shout out to, Diva, and I don't know if you like this or not, but I love a good little behind the scenes catch up, just showing me kind of how things work behind the scenes of a show and everything. And these were one of the scenes that they kind of sat down with the ladies and said, we're here to just kind of catch up with Mama Braxton, talk about what's going on. So I just think it's very interesting that they're showing us kind of that behind the scenes of before the camera rolls. I know you don't like it, but I thought it's nice just to, I like to be educated on how things go. So I thought it was a nice little cute thing. But anyways,
if they want to do that, I hate to go back to my Project Runway. What they used to have with Project Runways, they would show the show, and then they had an after show thing where they kind of show behind the scenes,
like the Wendy Williams after show.
Yes. Do an after show, but I don't need to see how you doing. No, I do not. No, I pass. I was like, I'm sick.
We're here for the setup 1, 2, 3 action.
Nah. No, I just want you to do what needs to be done. That's it. That's all.
Okay, so Tony M. Robinson says that was Marla Gibbs' daughter.
Oh, was it?
Really?
Well, you better come on with the information.
This is why I love doing our show with our people. Yeah. Come with the facts and the tea, okay? Shout out to Marla Gibbs' daughter.
Now that you're saying that,
it makes sense.
I can see the resemblance. Because I was trying to figure out who that was.
Yes, me too.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you, Tony. Shout out to you for that. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so Miss E comes into the scene. We catch up with Miss E. They're asking how Miss E's doing, what she's been up to. She talked about she just finished filming her cooking show with Tamar. Judge Maybelline asked, so what you been cooking? Miss E says she's been cooking seafood blend, smothered pork chops with grits, and a couple of other Southern meals. Now, have you ever had smothered pork chops with grits? Okay.
See, before you go on, Roy, can I tell you this? The people got to do too much. First it was shrimp and grits, then it was fried fish and grits. What next? Oxtail and grits. I mean, come on, they just doing too much. No pork chops and grits. Child. Then what? Tofu and grits. Nah, get out of here. I cannot.
Can't forget our vegan option.
I know, exactly, right? It's just too much. It's just too much.
So Judge Maybelline, she brings up Miss E, going out for dates again. And so Miss E said, I got to be careful, because my girls, they always trying to set me up with somebody. And the last time I got set up, it was with a 27-year-old man. And they flashed back to the street of the 20s.
Just doing stupid stuff. That was straight. We need a scene, and we're gonna do something stupid. That was just
stupid. It was hilarious though. So Miss E says that she has no reservations in meeting new people. Okay, she's open to it. She don't want to be old and sitting alone and by herself. She wants to meet. Okay, she said, he has to be tall. He has to have a bag. He has to have good sense. Judge Maybelline said most people at our age, men specifically, are not interested in having sex, and more so they can't get it up, so that's why they don't want to have it. But she said, is that something that would be okay with you? And so Mama E said that she, if that need comes up, she needs a man that can fulfill every need
that needs to be fulfilled. And so Judge Maybelline, she talking about if. I don't know who Miss E thinks she talking to. So Miss E ain't as, pruny as she seems to be, according to Judge Maybelline. Marla Gibbs, opened up and says, that she chooses to vibrate on 30, baby, okay? Oh, and so Mama E says she gonna vibrate on 48, okay? So I thought that was a cute little scene. Anything on that? Anything else?
It was a cute scene. Now that I know that's Marla Gibbs' daughter, I really thought like, wow, that I'm appreciating the scene even more now. You bringing your mama to the luncheon, to hang out with Missy and Judge Maybelline. It was a cute scene for Mama E. Listen, Mama E getting her check.
Okay. Collect your coin.
And that part. That's the only reason why I'm not mad at any of these Miss E scenes is because I'm here for her getting her check. If I wasn't here for her getting her check, I would have a whole nother conversation with you, okay? But because I'm here. Because I'm here for her to get her check, I ain't gonna block nobody back. Because I'm here for her getting her check, I'm gonna let that scene roll. And you know what else I like? This is all honesty. What else I like is because I always love Judge Maybelline. I love her.
Ooh, I love her so
always
much.
Do. So the fact that she was in this scene and the fact that the
Marla Gibbs. Oh my gosh.
I'm here for the scene, and on that note, I'm gonna tell them bravo.
Because if you're gonna do a BS scene, at least bring something to it, okay?
Bring some substance to it. It had substance.
It had it.
Judge and Marla Gibbs, yes, it did. So on that note, I'm good.
Gold Star Friends. That was a Gold Star Friend episode.
Absolutely.
I loved it. It was giving the Golden Girls for me, and I loved it. I truly enjoyed it.
Come on now.
I loved it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to Mama E's date, okay? So Mama E is back in Atlanta, and maybe Atlanta is not the best place for Mama E to meet a man, but okay. We're back in Atlanta. Miss E said she didn't have to look far to see this man because, she recognized old man when she see an old man, and he was not the one, okay? So she gets to
all his purple.
Looking like Barney.
Whoo, child.
So she gets to the table, Mr. Shelley, I believe his name was Shelley Christian, gets up and hugs Miss E. He said he's a hugger. He come from the generation that hug. He don't do handshakes, okay? So he gave her a hug, they sat down. He opened up saying that he was a jokester, he just, a nice guy that likes to have fun. He liked regular food. He said, tell me about yourself. Miss E said, I got married at 1. She had a baby, her first child at 2. She got divorced at 10. And so here she is. Okay. He talked about, he's got 3 people that live with him. Me, myself, and I is what he said. He said he was in Tyler Perry's 2 first movies. He's done some modeling. And he has children as well. He said he was surprised that Miss E was single. He would think that men would just be knocking her door down. And so Miss E said, well, it ain't that the people not knocking. She just ain't opening the door, period. Okay? And so their waiter came over. He seemed like he couldn't read a menu or understand what was on the menu. And so he just asked, what's some black people food? And the waitress said a chicken sandwich, and he said, well, I'll get a chicken sandwich. And Miss E said, well, I guess I will too. Miss E was asked in the confessional, would she go back on another date again? And the answer was pretty much hell no. He has no reason to contact her. She has no reason to contact him. He may be good for somebody else, but just not her. At the end of that, he said he was just waiting on his cue to leave because he didn't seem to be too happy to be there either. And so that was the end of that scene.
So, Shelley, let's talk Shelley. He was in Tyler Perry movies. Who did he? child. Purple for days. Purple for days. And when he took off the hat, I wanted to say, put the hat back on, please, sir. I know it's not respectful in the restaurant, but I want him to put that hat back on. So it was giving me, he was doing a scene for a Tyler Perry movie, because at the end he was like, well, I'll wait for their cue. Are we done? Like, should we go? They didn't say nothing yet. They're going to say nothing. And he said, the good thing about film is they can cut it out. I said, what the devil is going on here? This man wanted to know what type of fries they were. You listen, where I come from, she called them something else. They call them steak fries because they're so big. But my thing is, he was like, I ain't never seen no. He to the point where he said they could wrap it up. He said she could keep them fries. I said he dead serious.
He said, like Tamar, this is my last scene and season.
Okay. He was like, they could keep them fries. He was really like shocked about the fries. I'm like, sir, have you not been to too many restaurants? Because there's plenty of restaurants that the fries look like that. Listen, he was team too much for me. I was done with him the minute he took that hat off. And he, listen, and here's the other thing. He kept talking.
This was the Shelly Christian show, okay?
Yes, it was. And listen, and he do fashion shows. For who?
She was on his set today, okay?
Yes, she was. He said he been in fashion shows. That's your resume, sir?
He earned his check, okay?
Child, listen. Somebody has snatched Shelly off the streets, but it ain't gonna be Miss E. That's all I gotta say.
Not today.
Not today.
Okay. So that was that. We're gonna roll into our last scene. Y'all, we thank y'all for being here with us. Make sure you're hitting that like button, make sure you're sharing, and if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, okay, people? So in this last scene, we're rolling in with Kevin, and he was going to grief counseling for his first session. I really wish that we could have got an actual scene for that. We could have kind of skipped out on that date scene with Miss E, and we should have got a real session with Kevin and Spirit. But I think that Kevin is going through so much. In my opinion, respectfully, he should have gotten a private session with her. So I'm glad that they did not air him out all the way, if you may. Not that they would have negatively done that, but I just with everything that he's got going on, I think that was the most appropriate. Right. So he had his first session. After his first session, production told us that he went to go take a break. It was a lot. It was very overwhelming for him. A lot of conversation, just a lot of things. When you're going into therapy for the first time, dealing with all that he's dealing with, it could be very overwhelming. It could be very emotional, and it is very tiring afterwards. I know from personal experience. After I have a therapy session, I try to always have my therapy sessions towards the end of the day, because I just know mentally it's exhausting, it's emotionally exhausting, but it is helpful for me. So I could definitely see why Kevin, unfortunately had a seizure after that session. Now, I have been rewatching the earlier seasons of the Braxtons. And so it was brought to my attention. I got to ease up on Kev a little bit. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the earlier seasons, Tracy talked about Kevin having bone issues. His fingers would kind of bend up sometimes. And I can't remember what she said it was, but he has some health issues as well. From childhood, and they had talked about him having seizures before. So I want to say this is not a new pattern for Kevin, in my opinion, based off of what I have seen from previous seasons of the Braxtons. Tawanda pulls up, and so producers are updating her. Kevin was talking to his ex-wife on the phone. They were trying to work through some things as his court date was the next day. She said, Kevin said that he wasn't feeling so good. She said, are you okay? The next thing you know, the phone blacked out, okay? Olivia, which is his ex-wife.
Okay.
Yes, Olivia, his ex-wife, called Tawanda. Tawanda, reached out to production. By the time she showed up, they got Kevin back, stable and in a good place. Tawanda went in to go check on Kevin. As Kevin stated, it was just a lot between his divorce, between losing his mom, between this therapy session. He was just very overwhelmed and had a lot going on. So they sat down, Tawanda and Kev. They called Mama E. Mama E was given the update of Kevin having a seizure. Production came in with Kevin's medicine. She was checking on Kevin, seeing how he was. And so Kevin seemed to be back stable, kind of in a better place. I felt that he was afraid to be by himself. He did express that. I personally thought that Kevin should have been invited to stay at someone's home so that he could be under personal watch care, but they did what they felt best needed to be done. So that was that portion of the scene. I'll let you speak on that before I roll into our last scene with Mama E and Trina and him.
That scene was problematic for me
in
1,000 ways.
Okay.
So number one, I told you I would get back to why I felt Trina was being selfish. She was selfish because they knew that after the celebration birthday party for Tracy, the next day was his court date. So anything can happen. Forget about him getting sick, right? Anything can happen where a flight can be missed and he wouldn't have made his court date. So the fact that y'all threw this party right before his court date and y'all should have waited until after his court date, it was selfish because y'all got nothing else to film if y'all don't use Kevin Jr. That's my opinion. So it pissed me off, because you're going to get to this, that he missed his court date because of everything that happened. I'm saying, though, he should have never been there in the first place with his court date being the next day. Let's get to this seizure. Let me tell you the problem I have with that whole scene. So, one, he has a seizure. The production goes and runs and gets his medicine. I said, hold up, am I dumb, stupid, or slow? So, like, he has a seizure. Y'all don't call 911. Y'all call Tawanda? I didn't hear them say they called 911. I didn't hear them say an EMT, a doctor, or somebody checked him out. This man had a seizure. He was unconscious. Then he wakes up and y'all ask him, where can we go get your medicine? They go to CVS because the bag says CVS. Go check it out, because I had to watch that scene several times. They go to CVS, they get his meds. Then they come back and they telling him, your thing says take it twice a day. You got to take it twice a day. So he goes, okay, he's shaking as he's opening his meds. And he tells you, I'm afraid to be alone tonight. A doctor never came. I said, what the heck? Then Royaire, this is the part that killed me. He had a seizure. Why was his arm swollen? Tawanda gets there. Can we get some ice? No, can you? Can you get a doctor? Can somebody dial 911?
I mean, I'm sure they had an EMT, somebody on site. I'm sure they had a nurse or somebody on site at production. Like,
well, they should have showed that. They showed the dramatics of them bringing back his meds from CVS. I was confused with that whole scene. I thought it was trash. And Tawanda coming in, Auntie, you here? No, damn, Auntie, we need a doctor. We need a doctor. It was super produced by Tawanda. He passed out. Then they showed us, they didn't show us his face, but they showed us his legs on the couch. It was a mess, Royaire. They showed us his legs on the couch like he fell out and passed out. I said, what are they? What? Then they told me, we don't know if he can get on a plane. Well, let me raise my hand. He cannot. He cannot.
Nah, he cannot.
He cannot. Did you see him? dropped. Go back and watch it, y'all. The cap dropped and he's taking a med. I'm like, I said, are they doing this foolery? It says twice a day. Make sure you take. He's past that, y'all. He hasn't been taking his meds. We need a doctor. And why leave him alone? You better talk about it. And he told y'all, I'm scared to be alone. I ain't never seen no nonsense like that. Tawanda, you love Scratchy so much, but you told him, we just going to keep calling you. You ain't going to get no sleep. So the person who was... Does this make sense to you, Royaire? Now we going to keep him awake. He's stressed out. He had a seizure. And you going to keep him awake all night by calling him to make sure he good versus y'all all go to sleep and he at your house and you could keep a really close eye on him. It was so, come on now, it's so dysfunctional. You ain't lying. Dysfunctional family trying to appear functional. You ain't lying. That whole scene was trash. It ain't make no sense. And if I was that, what was that producer that came back with the med? I would tell him, please cut that out. I know you already showed it to the people, but for all the reruns and in the future, cut that out. Me standing there with the meds from CBS talking about you gotta take this twice a day. Why was his arm swollen?
Maybe he fell on his arm or something.
That's even worse, Royaire. It's even worse that they did not call a doctor or a nurse or something, and his arm was swollen. Because I was sitting there like, well, why his arm swollen? Like, can we get some ice? No, can you get a doctor? That's stupid. I said, they playing in our face with this scene. They played in our face. But go ahead.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So Mama E and Trina come to meet little Kev at his hotel room that he was scared to stay in by himself over the night, but he made it through the night, thank goodness. Now, let's address that Tawanda did call Olivia in the previous day and updated Olivia what was going on, and Olivia said that she would postpone the court date so that, you know, he could be present. Now, Olivia did not follow through with what she said. And so, you know, I'm just going to say what Trina said. You know, sometimes when you're in a situation, you can only see things your way and nobody else's. But nobody wins in a divorce. Nobody. There's no winner. Everybody's, you know, losing something in the divorce. Okay. So, you know, Kevin, you know, opened up with Mama E and Trina, expressing how the last 24 hours have just been a lot for him. You know, he is dealing with the passing of his mom, you know, on her second birthday that she's been gone. You know, he had a seizure yesterday. You know, he was supposed to be in Maryland for his court date on today. You know, the wife was supposed to postpone it, but she did not. And so due to it not being postponed and he not being present, the unfortunate result was that, you know, they are now officially divorced. Kevin lost custody of his child, and she also took the home as well. It was very devastating for Kevin, as you can see on his face. If you watch the episode, it was a lot, and I just feel like that he was just so overwhelmed that he couldn't even put it all together to kind of make it make sense what was going on. But, you know, Mama E encouraged him and said, you know, this is a lot, but you're going to make it through this, you know, and you need to go down to that courthouse and you need to file for an appeal because you need to be there for that child. And you're going to be okay. You know why you're going to be okay? Because you are Tracy Braxton's son. And every time Tracy was down, she would find another way to pop back up and to keep on going. And so, you know, they loved on Kevin, and, you know, they, you know, exited that scene, and that was the end of this episode.
Mm-hmm. That was another trash scene. Because it was trash. And let me tell you why. he got at least 4 aunties and a nana who all been through a divorce, right? So Tamar been through a divorce. Tony been through a divorce. So Wanda been through a divorce, and Trina been through a divorce, and Mama E, Miss E, been through a divorce. He got 5 divorcees in his family. And could nobody told him.
Mikey been divorced too, so that's not funny.
It's not, but wait. And he was saying that him and the woman was not getting along before this. They wasn't getting along.
Mm-hmm.
You really thought she was going to try to delay a court date? And let's be clear on this for you. It wasn't like the court date was next week. The court date was the next day. I don't know who knows where you can you on the docket for tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Who you calling today to say, can we delay this?
You're calling the clerk of court's office to let them know that there has been an emergency situation and one of the parties.
He should have did that. Why would you call Olivia to say, can you tell the courts to delay this? No, sir. You call yourself. You and your stupid aunties. She call Olivia. So I'm like, can you delay it? No, y'all need to call. You got the evidence that he had a situation. Mm-hmm. Y'all call the courts, not Olivia. Hey, Olivia, I know y'all haven't been getting along. You can't stand your estranged husband, but can you delay this because he's stuck with us right now and he got sick? Girl, are you dumb, stupid, or both? I said, do they think we this slow? Why? And let me tell you this, where they do this at? Okay, he missed it. I guess he didn't call, right? But so they gave her full custody of the
son. He didn't show up. They'll do that.
In the house?
He didn't show up. There was nobody to fight against.
Well, you know what? Well then I still, let me tell you something. I still don't get how you got 5 divorcees and none of them knew to tell you the right thing to do. So shame on all of them. And to Wanda, I'm gonna call Olivia. Hey. Olivia can't stand her right now. She thinking this is a win-win for me. I'm gonna get you off the phone and say yes, but I don't even know she called Olivia. Mm. It's stupid to me. Why didn't they call his lawyer? Did he even have a lawyer? She loves Scratchy so much that she got Scratchy into a whole big mess. She made him come to a whole nother state knowing he was about to have a court date. Then he didn't have his seizure meds. Then they got to rush to get his seizures meds. He done had the seizures, missed his court date, and he got screwed. He's homeless now. Okay, homeless. And obviously he can't stay with none of them because you wouldn't even let him sleep on your couch for one night. Who does that to their nephew? Now my nephew just had a seizure and I'm like, nah, stay in the hotel. No, you gonna come to my house. And you gonna sit on the couch or in my room or something. I'll be sitting up in the chair looking over every hour to make sure you still breathing. She loves Scratchy so much. She a lie. She a lie. She a whole lie. Talking about you gonna be all right. We gonna just keep calling you. Stop it. We gonna just keep calling you. Meantime, you in the hotel on the floor.
Goodbye.
Child. Oh my God. Trying to play the viewers like we just straight stupid. Oh my God. Those last 2 scenes, it needs to be a redo. They think we stupid. Yeah, I'll keep calling you, nephew. Come on, she need to stop. We ain't gonna let you. Don't be scared. He told you he's scared. And he does seem like, all jokes aside, he's like, when you have an only child, I tell people, I only have one kid too, right? But I tell people whenever possible, at least have two, right? At least have two. Because when you have an only child, they tend to be more, I don't know what word to use for it, but they're more connected to in a way, like they a little more needy, so to speak, right? Because it's used to like, it's just dumb. It's their world.
They're not used to depending on anybody else.
They right.
To share anything. They're not used to having to.
Right.
I could totally see why Kevin would trust that she would do well. In my opinion, Kevin is not in the right frame of mind to be making any kind of major decisions like this. Like,
none
whatsoever. I feel like the Tawanda should have, or someone in the family should have stepped up and called the courthouse. Now, depending on what state you're in, I do know, like here in North Carolina, the filer of the petition has to be the one to report a denial or to report a change or anything like that. So if he was living here in North Carolina, even if he would have called and said that he couldn't make it, they would have still proceeded on with the proceedings. She would have had to been the one to say, we need to reschedule this due to X, Y, and Z.
Oh, see, Jersey doesn't work like that. But okay. both parties have rights. I mean, if you're in a hospital or something going on, you got the right to say, like,
right.
ain't going to make it. But especially too, that's why you need a lawyer. Everybody wants to represent themselves. Stop being so cheap. This is a serious matter. You need a lawyer. So he could have just simply called his lawyer and said, look, this is what's going on, and the lawyer would have handled it for him. So you know what, like, but now you see what you got. You got no house, you got no kid, and what else did she take? Because she got everything.
And the marriage is over because he was the marriage. He was
no wife.
This is not a laughing matter. But this is why Vaughn said you just need to snip and just move on about your business. You can't trust him. You can't trust him. You can't trust him.
Yes, he can appeal. He can appeal. But you know what though? You know what though? Vaughn is, I hear you where but Vaughn is bitter. He's bitter.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing worse. They talk about women, they talk about the females, but ain't nothing worse than a bitter
man. Oh my God. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Ain't nothing worse than a
running around whining like a little bitch. Like, like, get over yourself. Move on. Like, it aggravates my soul.
I can't with you, Royaire. We done did this thing. I cannot. And listen. Truly though, in divorce, nobody wins. It's very sad. It's heartbreaking. But Olivia said, okay, she went to that court and she did a slam dunk. She hit a 3-pointer.
It's gonna come back to get her though. That's gonna come back because that was wrong. That was dead wrong. You're trifling. She was wrong for that. She was wrong. Now, come on.
She was wrong for that. But
let that boy have partial custody with his son. Now, I
supervised visits or something. Sorry, that was just wrong. She was wrong for that, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Not the house too. Good gosh.
Look, she got the house, the car, everything.
Where he's at in Maryland? He out in Maryland walking the bus.
Hopefully he didn't get half of Tracy stuff too, because Lord Jesus.
Child.
Ooh.
All right.
Well, overall, episode 6 I thought was a great episode. Again, episode 5 was a good one. I think that we as a family really need to sit back and look at these episodes and kind of reevaluate ourselves, some of the decisions that we make, some of the things that we say. Y'all are so petty. I can't. Not the house that she didn't leave for Kevin Sr. or Kevin Jr. because the daughter got it.
Oh God, not the house Tracy brought. Oh gosh. See, you know what, Royaire? You close out, and I'm gonna let you close out. But see, I'm telling you right now, I would be no good. I better stay single because I would be no good. That judge told me my house got to go to this man.
I'm busting the windows out of every wall in that motherfucker. You hear me? I am tearing the garage door off the hinge. I'm taking every door off the hinge.
Y'all gonna see me on the news for sure.
Listen, I will be no good. You hear me? You know what? I thought about this earlier. You know how bitter Vaughn is? You would think that Kamala Harris is his ex-wife.
Child, he bitter.
You would think that his wife was the next president of the United States, and he just got stuck with Trina.
He bitter. He bitter.
Well, overall, what were your final thoughts on this episode? These past 2 episodes, actually.
I concur with what you said. I'm enjoying them. Right? It's different to see the dynamics or whatever. It's going to be interesting if they get another season after that. How would they navigate on their own, but kind of without using Tracy as a clutch, so to speak?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, I think they're dragging out too much of this. He didn't want a funeral. Whatever he had, whether it was a celebration of life, a funeral, whatever, it's a done deal. With 2 years for y'all on that. Let it go. Let it go. And this should be Operation Save Kevin. And if we need to save Kevin by allowing his father to have a piece of the platform, so what? But are you afraid that he may say something y'all don't want the people to hear? Are you afraid of that?
Because just like she talked to y'all, he had pillow talk with her. So
he did. And honey, let me tell you something. When it comes to a couple in that pillow talk, ain't nothing going to trump that.
Nothing.
But I enjoyed it. We hope y'all continue to watch the show. And we also hope that y'all continue to come through for our recaps because we have a lot of fun with y'all. And y'all be throwing in some information that, you know what I mean, that we you know what I'm trying to say, that we like
yes, we missed it. And y'all catch us up. So y'all be having our backs. And we appreciate y'all. Y'all remember to hit the like button on both of our channels, Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If you're not a subscriber over there, hit that subscribe button. And on Royaire's World, going over there, hit that like button and subscribe as well. As we talked about the week before last, we have some other shows that are coming up that we are going to look forward to recapping. So I know we're not on a set schedule right now, but if you turn those notification bells on all, you will know every time we go on live, you'll get a notification. So make sure you do that. If you're not getting a notification, go to our channels, turn the notification bell on off, and then turn it on all back on. That way you'll be able to get our notifications. Excuse me. We thank you for joining us this week. Hit the like button. Diva is live every night at 8 p.m. I pop in here when I can, so turn that notification bell on. Catch me when you can. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Hit that share button. Watch the recap over again and the previous recaps. I believe, Diva, you told me that some of the people was asking us about, you know, bringing the people up. So maybe next week for the mid-season, we'll bring some people up to go live with us, and we'll kind of have a little recap and see what the people are thinking about this season. What you think?
I love it.
All righty.
All right.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, share, and we will catch y'all next time with Lady Diva and Prince Royaire. Bye.
Bye.